Okay, if anything bad happens to her, I want you to call me at work. Okay, buddy?
Sure, Dad.
Good. Because then I will come right home and I will put you through that fucking wall. Have a great day, princess.
It's history! It's not going anywhere!
When I get home tonight, I want to see half of those assignments completed, or as God is my witness, I will put you through that fucking wall!
We're outside, genius! There is no wall!
Then I will build one, and I will fucking put you through it!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Loud, a pop culture podcast, episode 2. This episode is titled Ghostface of the Galaxy. I am your host, Tomye West, and joining me is my co-host, Alan. How you been, Alan?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Yeah, living the dream.
What have you been up to? What have you been up to lately?
Work. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. Nice.
Doing me, playing video games.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I've been doing a bit of the same. I had band rehearsal and stuff the other night, but apart from that, just been pumping that San Andreas. I'm now in Las Venturas nearly at the end of there. I think I've done 65 missions or something out of 84 story missions. So I'm winding to a close on San Andreas.
Cool.
Have you played much more of it?
GTA haven't played much more since we last spoke. I've been playing Forza, the new Forza Horizons, and I picked up Guardians as well. So I've been playing a bit of that, which we're talking about later on.
Yeah, that's I'm looking forward to hearing what you think, man. We got a lot to talk about today. Actually, it's actually going to be a pretty stacked show. We actually had to add in a final story towards the end, which you'll see where I placed it, Alan. I was going to place it at the end of the stories, but I decided it goes better where I have. So I'll just bring it up when I do. But today we're going to be talking our thoughts on the new Scream movie coming next year. We're going to be talking Jackass Forever coming February next year. We're going to be talking about, in this order specifically, Spider-Man No Way Home, the trailer that just dropped, the CHUCKY TV series, BuzzFeed Unsolved Supernatural's final ever episode, Guardians of the Galaxy, the game, Pokémon, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and then we're going to talk a little news story going on with Call of Duty and PlayStation. So it's a stacked show. It's probably going to be a little bit longer than last week's. So I hope you're ready to strap in for a couple of hours. And if you need to use the toilet, man, as I tell the kid, do it before we get in the car. Yeah, I guess we'll just begin the episode right up because we've got so much to talk about. Let's not waste anybody's time. Story number 1. Scream coming out next year, 2022. I think February as well. Might be February. Have you seen much on this?
We've checked out the trailer. I've got a couple of theories about it and things I'd like to see.
Yep.
Yeah, it's my probably won't happen, but what I would like to see, the big reveal in the end, is that Dewey is behind it all. I think that would be a good twist.
That would be cool, man. I have concerns about it. I'm really excited for it, but I have some concerns at the same time, which is they've said that there's going to be returning characters from the first movie. They said that it's somehow connected to the original people in the movie as well. And I've heard whisperings that it's Billy and Stu, yeah? You know Stu?
Yeah.
I've heard it's related to him somehow.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So they're bringing him back from the dead. That's interesting.
I don't know but you remember that movie ended and we're not sure if he did die. The last thing we saw was him lying there calling my mom's going to be so mad at me. And we didn't see if he died or we didn't see if he lived. So technically, maybe he's not dead yet. Sorry about that, everyone. We had a little bit of technical issues. You know how internet can be. So, as I was saying, if you remember at the end of the last movie, man, the first movie, we don't know what actually happened to Stu. We never saw him actually die. Remember, the last thing he was doing was he was on the phone to his mum. Oh, my mum's gonna be so mad at me. And then Billy gets shot dead. We see Billy get shot dead, but we don't see what happens to Stu. I don't think that we do anyway. Like, I'm actually gonna fact check myself there because I don't want someone watching and going, "Yeah, we do," which I totally would get, you know. So I'm gonna quickly look. Did Stu die in Scream? All right. He murdered many. Oh, yeah. Okay. There we go. Already proven wrong. I just remember he gets a TV dropped on his head.
Yes.
And that's the last thing we saw, which he looked pretty fucking dead to me, if I gotta be honest, bro.
If I recall, this is back when they were the big CRT kind of TVs as well. So
yeah, dude. And that was like that. Not only would have electrocuted him, like it showed him like shock, like jolting around, but it would have crushed his fucking head, most likely, man. So interesting, man. That I've heard rumors that Stu somehow is connected. Like let's have a look at this quickly. Hold on. We've got an article here from Distractify. This article is written by Jennifer Tisdale, and that is that if there is one thing we love about Scream movies, it's that they have more twists than a pretzel riding a roller coaster. Don't worry about why a pretzel might be riding a roller coaster. From surprise killers, plural, being revealed, to an absentee parent avenging the death of their murderous son, we now know what to expect. That's half the reason why we love these movies so much. Why are you just not telling us about Stu and giving us this spiel? I'm just going to try and skip forward. Stu died when Sidney dropped a television in his head. When the shades of wild death in A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors. I don't care. Okay, so there's nobody that wouldn't come back and reprise the role they got to do when they were a boy. And to be able to do something different as a man would be exciting. You just don't get that opportunity often, said Matthew Lillard at the idea of returning, who is the actor that plays Stu. So, is it? No.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah? Okay, cool. I'm not sure if I was getting him mixed up with Billy or not. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like Scream was one of those movies that it's not like a Michael Myers where it's the same killer every time. They come back to life, whatever. It's it seems more like, you know, it's a continuation and this is the story and whoever's dead is dead. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can pull it off in that way and see how they make it work. Because if they can make it work and it works good, I'm all down for it because I love Stu in the first movie. He's like so likable as a character throughout the movie before you find out that he is the killer. Spoilers for a fucking 20-year-old movie. Apologies to everybody. But if you haven't seen it yet, I'd say you're getting snail mail. So, yeah, but I mean, what's your opinion on the first three Scream movies, man? Like, what do you think about them?
First two, I really liked. The third, I wasn't as crash hot on. In fact, I can remember I watched
actually, and there's fourth as well. I forgot there was already a 4 as well. You remember?
Yeah. And I think there's a series in the mix as well. Series,
yeah, MTV series. And then it went to Netflix. It started on MTV and then it went to Netflix. So they had Scream, the TV series, but I've never been able to sit through it because it doesn't have the Ghostface mask. I don't like the new mask, and it feels like what would a show be like? It just feels like a soap opera surrounded like a reality young MTV feel movie TV show with a Scream element to it. You know what I mean? Like, you know those MTV shows. So I just couldn't sit through it, man. Like Real World.
Oh no.
You know what I mean? Like that's what it felt like to me, the acting and stuff. I actually have heard people say it's really fucking good. And I've tried to give it a shot, man. I've tried, but at the moment I don't see Ghostface's mask. I'm like, this isn't Scream. You may as well have called this fucking new serial killer man. I don't know, man. Like, Jesus. Hey, listen, it's not my job to come up with the name for the movies, you know? So
yeah.
I
agree with that. That's off-putting. I mean, that mask is so iconic, and to remove it, it's.
Have you seen what that mask looks like, the TV series one?
I haven't. I'll have a look now.
No, I'll look it up right now, and we can show you, watch it together, mate.
Oh, awesome.
1 sec. Yeah, it's shit. It's not a bad mask, to be honest. It's just when you think of Scream, you think of Ghostface.
Yeah.
And that's just how it's always going to be. It's not like you think of Halloween because of Halloween 3, you know? All right, so this is the trailer to Scream, the television series. So, if you watch here, it looks soap opera-ish already to me. Even the footage,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the filming, the cinematography.
Yes, definitely.
And you wait for the mask, man. I bet you they don't show it till right at the end or some shit like where they're going to be like, whoa, he's got a new mask and it's super cool, man. It's like Jason X, bro, how he was supersized Jason or whatever. I'm just waiting for them. Can you show us the mask already? There. Here we go. And why is he swimming in a lake like it's fucking Camp Crystal Lake? Are you kidding? We didn't even get to see the mask. Oh my god, man. Okay. Well, I guess we're on to the next video, bro. Because you got to see it, man. You got to see it. Here we go. All right. This would want to be the right one. Otherwise, you know what? We're going to pack it in. We're going to, all right, well, you know, all you need to know is it's a shitter mask. Skipping forward. Here we go. Look at that.
Nah, I don't like that.
It looks like a white dude in the moonlight.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. What a terrible mask, you know? Let's see if we can. Here we go. Look at that.
What the? So that's just weird. It looks like kind of like the Pazuzu from The Exorcist and maybe the chick from The Grudge had a baby, and that's what that would look like. But
yeah, man. Like,
I don't like that.
What I don't like about it as well is, like, why name it Scream, man? Like, Scream is synonymous with that mask and will always be. I don't know. Imagine like calling a Superman movie, a TV show, Superman, and the guy can't fly and he's got orange on and he's got orange and light blue or something. You know what I mean? Just be like, it's not supposed to be red and light blue, not orange. You know, like it's not Superman. Let's just call it Jumping Jack. You know, like I don't know, man. I get really mad when people make dumb decisions like that with properties that are like beloved. You know.
Yeah, unnecessary change.
I think you should treat things with respect, and especially something with a legacy like Scream has managed to create for itself, which is really impressive considering that they released that movie when slashers were technically classified a dead genre of movies. I've watched a lot of stuff lately about slashers, and apparently in the 1980s, it just was saturated with slasher movies like Jason movies constantly. It was like annualized every year. There was Candyman. Then there was like, what is it like? There's all they take all the holidays like Halloween and stuff, so there'll be like Black Friday. You know, like there was Black Christmas before Halloween came along.
Yeah.
But but there was no movie Halloween based until that movie apparently, which is pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so what I wanted to get to with this topic was, what do you think's going to happen? How much money would you place on that happening? And how excited are you about it?
I'm reasonably excited. I don't know if I'm going out on premiere to see it, but I think it's got my interest. I think for the nostalgia more than anything. I'm also hoping for one of the old kind of staples to die as well. I think it's something that needs to happen there to shake it up a bit. Like, so Courtney Cox's character, can't remember her name. Maybe her.
Gail Weathers.
Gail, yes. I think Gail, or even I think killing Sydney would be pretty cool. Like,
yeah, man. I mean, they made the leap with doing that with Jamie Lee Curtis in well, they killed her off screen because she wouldn't come back for the 4th movie. So they just said she died in a car accident, and that's why we got that him going after her daughter that survived. So it would be cool if they did that, so that they could like kind of end her branch of stories, because we know this isn't the last Scream movie. We know they're gonna anything that's got this many sequels, it's gonna keep producing sequels, man. Like, especially horror movies like Scream and stuff. Look at Halloween. There's been 12 movies. There's been 11 or 12 Jason movies. Oh wait, there's Jason X, which is Jason 10, obviously, and then there's Friday the 13th remake, and there's Freddy versus Jason. So technically 13 movies. And like what? I don't even know. I don't like Freddy Krueger much. I don't like Nightmare on Elm Street. Do you know how many there are in that series? There's quite a lot of those too, man.
There was 6. Then we got New Nightmare, Freddy vs. Jason, and then the remake, which was not great.
It wasn't terrible though. I kind of put it in the same category as the Texas Chainsaw remake that happened with, is it Jessica Biel that was in it?
Yes. Yeah.
And I liked that movie quite a lot, actually, when it came out. I went and saw it in cinemas with one of my mates. And we're still not, super old at that time when it came out. But I remember liking it at the start. You remember the found footage part at the start where it like is all black and white?
Yeah.
And it tells you about what happened and all this stuff to make it feel like it's a true story, like happening in front of you. And I really like that aspect to it. I would like if they kind of did that with the remake of Friday the 13th. But one other thing before we move on to the next topic, because we're going a little long on this, do you know what the original plan for this movie was going to be?
I do not.
It is the worst idea I've ever heard in my entire life, and would have wrecked the whole series. It would have wrecked every single movie that came before it for everyone that hasn't seen it or people that have seen it, which is they wanted to see, the thing about horror movies they try to do in the one like this is they try to do something that's really not expected. So it throws the audience in. The audience is like, whoa, oh my, this whole time, you know what I mean? So what they were going to do was it was going to come out that it was all a big and elaborate prank, and everyone that was supposed to be dead is alive, and it was just a big prank against Sydney. Tell me that.
Yeah.
Would it? What? So, okay, now we're going to watch the original 4, and everything we see, we're just going to go, well, we know it's not really happening.
That's a pretty big prank. Like,
yeah, and that's a pretty big curveball to throw the audience, man. You know this horror movie that we've been doing? Surprise! Ha! Like, come on, man.
They were in the movie itself. They've got movies based on the movies before it. It's like
exactly. So it just, I don't know where I read
dedication to a joke.
I don't know where I read it. I don't know where I heard it, but I know recently that's what I heard, because I was like, "What? Are you kidding me? What?" And I know that I read it, and I'm not making this up, because I couldn't even make up something this fucking bullshit about that movie, man. Imagine him sitting in the writer's room and going, what if we found out it was all just a joke? And everyone's like, what? You're fired, Gary. You know what I mean? Like,
Gary, you're going to rehab. That's
Yeah.
what you need.
What did we tell you last week, Gary? Don't show your face around here anymore. Just some dude coming in the office every week. We're gonna make a Scream movie, and it's fake. It's fake, man. Anyways, we'll move on to the next one, and that is Jackass Forever, which I'm super excited about. I was very nervous about it. I was a little hesitant. I was also a little worried that it's just not going to be the same. But from what I've seen in the trailer, from what I've seen, from what I've heard from Steve-O's podcast that he talking about it, or whatever he's doing guest spots and stuff. I also saw Johnny Knoxville on Late Night with Jimmy Kimmel or something like that, and he was talking about how it's the most insane movie they've done. Steve-O said he said it's the craziest movie he's ever done. Like, he says it doesn't quite, he thinks number 2 is the pinnacle. He said it doesn't quite reach number 2, but it's close. But he said that the stories I've heard now, I hope these aren't spoilers for anyone, because for me, I don't even know if these are 100% going to be in the movie. So it's a spoiler for me anyway. But what I have heard is that there's one bit where Steve-O swallows a condom of Chris Pontius's cum in front of his own dad. And the other one I heard is that Steve-O got his bottom half of his body medically numbed, like as if he was in hospital. And there's a stunt where his half of his body got numbed by a doctor, and the doctor didn't want to actually do that because of how stupid it is. And I think there's another one where Steve-O got up in an aeroplane and jerked off skydiving and came in the air. This is just what I've heard. I didn't write this. Don't get upset if you're listening. Sorry, kids, if you're listening. It's probably not the best time to learn about swallowing jizz. But did you check out the trailer, didn't you?
Yes. It's hearing that it sounds like a sober Steve-O is scarier than a not sober one. That sounds hardcore.
Yeah, well,
but it's I kind of got that feeling as well, especially this scene right here with the bear. That kind of gave me the vibe that they're going to really push the boundaries here. There's going to be some crazy things going on.
Yeah, well, apparently the whole crew had to sit down and tell Knoxville that this was 100% the last Jackass movie, because his doctor has said that he is not allowed to get one more concussion. That's it. Like,
oh wow.
Apparently they're really concerned for him, and they said, this is the last one, Johnny Knoxville. Like, this is it, man. You can't keep doing it. You have just gotten too, like, I don't know. Did you know that he got his urethra broken?
Really?
Yeah, he was doing a motorcycle jump over a dirt jump, and he was trying to flip it, and he let go of the bike in the air, and he landed, and the bike came back down, and the handlebars went through his crotch. So he had to piss in a colostomy bag and everything for like months.
Jesus.
Yeah, dude. So they've been through it, bro. And as Steve-O says in this trailer, which we might unmute for a second to hear it.
It's cool. And
We'll go back. If you hear what he says here, can you hear it?
Yeah.
You said it wasn't gonna feel like anything.
Concussions aren't great, but as long as you have them before you're 50, it's cool. And Knoxville's 49, so we're good.
So yeah, they basically just said that this is it, man, because he's 49, no more concussions after 50. So what's your thoughts about the Bam Margera stuff, man?
Oh, I was looking into that. That's I think Bam is being a bit of a dick about it. My takeaway was like he's doing the whole lawsuit against Knoxville and Tremaine, but to me, it seems like he just needs to realize that it's probably for the best that, and what they're doing here, saying the wellness policy sobering up, seeing the way he handles it, like he had that outburst on Instagram where he downed 7 beers and a glass of wine or something, then had a rant. And there's a problem there he probably should address. And I think he's got friends there that tried to push him in the right direction, and he's taken it the wrong way. That's kind of what I feel. I haven't looked too deep, but that was kind of my initial thoughts on what's going on there.
I 100% feel the same as you. But my concern when they announced Jackass Forever and showed this trailer and said that Bam wasn't in it, before they showed this trailer, sorry, I'd known Bam wasn't in it for months. And I was like, that's disappointing, because for me, the highlights are Johnny Knoxville, Bam Margera, Steve-O, Ryan Dunn. Ryan Dunn is already gone.
Yeah.
Bam's now gone. And that's sad, man, because especially it might not be as bad now that it's just Bam gone and we're used to the fact that Ryan's not going to be a part of it, and we always knew that. But it was something about both of their chemistry together was always such a great addition to the movie. You almost felt that brotherly love between Bam and Ryan, and you could see how close they were and how much fun they had together. There's some great clips that I love watching of them just dying of laughter with each other. Like, I don't know if you remember when Aaron falls asleep on the couch and they wake him up with the shockers from the paddles. And then when he wakes up, he's like, wake up. And then he's like, don't worry, man, we're doctors. And they're just laughing and shit. Like, it's such a funny clip, bro. But I mean, when Ryan Dunn died, man, that was like the first celebrity for me that when I had read it, I was like, oh, like I was really devastated. You know, I was playing COD with mates on the Xbox, and I read it. I was like, I got to go for a bit, guys. I didn't say anything. I just jumped off. I was like bummed as, man, because I don't know, growing up, those guys were they've been in my life since I was in like year 7, man, you know? So to have Ryan Dunn, and because of the movie they make as well, the nature behind it, you almost feel like you get to know them and you know them as friends as well, because you get to see such an inside personal look at their relationships and how they talk to each other and all that. And that's why I think that hit me harder than finding out something like some famous celebrity actor dies, because it's like, well, we didn't know that person at all. Whereas I feel like the Jackass crew lets you know who they are with these movies, you know?
Definitely, yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to it though, man. It was actually supposed to come out October 14th or 18th, and it got delayed. Or no, it was maybe 28th. It was the same day as Halloween Kills in America. So it was supposed to come out, and it got delayed till Feb next year. And they said that Steve-O said it's really funny because the dudes were really bummed that it got delayed. And Steve-O's like, listen, right now, because the movie isn't out, we're hot shit. The moment that movie's done, we're nobodies again. So live it up while you can. So yeah, I'm really excited for that, man. And you know what? That'll be one that I do go for opening day. And if there's special advanced screenings, I will be there.
Yes, no, I'm with you on that one. That's that's definitely got me excited.
I've seen every Jackass movie in cinemas. I saw number 2 on the day. I saw number 3 on the day. And I plan on doing the same with number 4. But I want to make it a band night out and have the band go together, because we haven't gotten a chance to do much together as a band, because we formed at the start of COVID. Like, I formed this band during the first month or 2 of COVID hitting. So we, as a band, have been very restricted this entire time as a band, and we've only had freedoms now. So I want to make it a night out, you know, with the band, because I think it'll be a fun time. It's the sort of movie you want to go to and have a fun time with, you know. So
yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's a big one I'm looking forward to. But we'll move on to the next story. And that is the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer impressions. Now, I must say something before we get into this. I wanted to do this for the podcast, and that is that I haven't watched it yet.
Oh.
So I'm going to give you.
You're in for some fun there.
I'm going to give you my live reactions. I'm not going to probably react very much, so don't get too excited, everyone. I'm probably just going to watch it and then tell you what I thought of it. I'm not sitting there going to go, what? What? So, we'll just watch it. And yeah, I'm about to see a little bit about it, just as you guys are if you haven't seen it. And if you have seen it, well, whatever. I am just trying to swap windows right now, mate. Sorry, 1 second. Boop. 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 And let's start that again. All right.
Ever since I got bit by that spider, I've only had 1 week where my life has felt normal. That was when you found out.
When you botched that spell where you wanted everyone to forget that Peter Parker's Spider-Man, we started getting some visitors. From every universe. Hello, Peter. You're not Peter Parker.
I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Dr. Otto Octavius.
Wait, no, seriously, what's your actual name?
There are others out there. We need to send them back. So, Scooby-Doo this crap.
You know, all this is kind of your mess. I know a couple magic words myself, starting with the word please.
Please, Scooby-Doo this crap. You're flying out into the darkness to fight ghosts.
What do you mean?
They all die fighting Spider-Man. It's their fate. I'm sorry, kid.
Yeah, me too.
Don't.
There has to be another way!
There isn't. There are dangers in our universe. You have to take this away from me. Peter, you're struggling. And everything you want, while the world tries to make you choose.
This is all my fault. I can't save everyone. What's happening?
They're starting to come through, and I can't stop them. December 17th, exclusively in movie theaters. Tickets on sale November 29th. Spider Monday.
Okay. So, before I get into what I think, I want to ask you what you think about it. And second of all, what do you think you can notice that you think is going to be the story or parts of the story that you can see in the trailer?
One thing I think that stands out to me a lot there is Doctor Strange doing the spell in the first place seems out of character. I reckon there's something behind that. A lot of people saying it's going to be an adaptation of the comic line One Bad Day where Mephisto comes into the picture and deceives Spider-Man around Aunt May's death. I reckon if not Mephisto, maybe someone else impersonating Doctor Strange at first and causing this stuff. It's going to be like, and there's maybe a little bit of a foreshadowing there with the Scooby-Doo, the kind of the big bad's going to have the mask ripped off kind of thing in the form of Doctor Strange, and he's going to be revealed as not Doctor Strange.
Okay. One other question. I noticed, obviously, like there's a lot of the villains in it. Who do you think is the main antagonist?
I think it's what my takeaway is. They're going for the Sinister Six, which we've seen 5 of now. I think we're going to see, most likely, I reckon the 6th will be Venom. There's been a bit kind of going around on the internet. Some things I think, because still, no, we haven't had it in Australia yet. So some things I won't touch on, but there's a bit going around that leads to that very heavily. And I think that's going to be a big reveal there. And there's a few things I've kind of noticed when he was doing the spell and it blows up. There's four rings that kind of explode out. So you've got the MCU, the Tobey Maguire universe, the Andy Garfield universe, and I reckon the 4th will be the Venom universe, and you'll see him come in. And
so that's what I was going to go on to ask you is how much money would you put on the fact that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are in it? I have a feeling that Tobey Maguire is definitely in it, but I don't know about Andrew Garfield because I actually read a thing from him recently saying, I think people are getting a little bit too excited about this movie and to not keep your expectations in check. So he hasn't confirmed nor denied, which most likely means he's in it. But I know what people think about those movies. I know that Sony didn't want to continue with him being Spider-Man. I know that their relationship while he was being Spider-Man was very rough as well. They didn't get on, the studio heads and him, apparently. Apparently he didn't want to be Spider-Man anymore, and apparently no one wanted him to be Spider-Man anymore in the industry. So I wonder how they're going to smooth that over with Andrew Garfield. Do you think he is actually going to be in it?
I think there's one part that says to me that kind of makes me think yes. There's a couple of things actually. In the Brazilian trailer, that scene where you had Sandman, Electro, and the Lizard kind of going up against Spider-Man.
Is that Lizard from the Homecoming one?
No, it's from The Amazing Spider-Man.
That's what I mean. That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
I felt when I saw it and we were watching, I was about to go, is that the one from Amazing Spider-Man? Because I'm going to admit it again, as we talked about last week, I must just straight up have shit taste, but I really like the Amazing Spider-Man #2. I really liked the guy who played Harry Osborn. I think he is fantastic in that movie. He's really creepy, unsettling, but also the nice guy and friendly. I think, do you remember that part with him in the elevator with Gwen Stacy? And he like does like a, you're Peter's girlfriend, huh? And like does like a sort of like this sort of like over the top nice but snarky comment to like as a threat sort of thing. Like, now we wouldn't want that movie or something like that. I really liked him, and especially when he like comes in at the end and he's all, you know, Peter and shit like that. I don't watch the Marvel movies anymore. I've kind of fallen off. I don't really watch superhero movies that much, to be honest. I used to have one of the coolest comic collections, I reckon. I think my collection would, if I still had it now, would be worth maybe $40,000. I sold it for $6,000. But I had something like 300-400 of the Amazing Spider-Man books, including like 12, 14, like really old ones, all the way up to like I had the Ditko variant of #700, the Amazing Spider-Man #700, which was one of 200 copies released with that cover, and I sold it, and it was signed by Stan Lee and graded by CGC and all this stuff. So I had a really cool comic collection, and I'm a really big Batman fan. I also really love Judge Dredd, and I like Deadpool, and Spider-Man Homecoming would probably be one of my favorite superhero movies ever made, because I really like Michael, what's his name? Michael Keaton as the villain. I thought he same as Harry Osborn's character, played it really unsettling, creepy, sort of threatening, but also the nice guy in moments, you know what I mean? So he's really hard to kind of judge his character. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, I know you're a big Marvel fan. I know you love your Marvel movies and your TV shows. So, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for this? And also, how do you think this looks compared to the previous two in the series?
I think it's there's gonna be some big things happen, and I think it's gonna be the Infinity War of the Spider-Man movies. It's gonna be a lot. Last I heard about running time, I think it's pushing 3 hours as well. So it's
3 hours.
gonna be good. Yeah, I think it's I think 2.5, 3 hours. It's
Look, man, I love movies, man, and my biggest problem is when movies are around that time. I remember going to see The Dark Knight Rises, yeah, and I was so excited for this movie. And I was like, I'm going for a piss before we go into the cinema because I don't want to get up. Don't want to miss any plot points. I'm not missing any of this movie because I hate going out at the cinemas, going to the toilet and coming back and going, I don't even know what's going on. Who died or whatever, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I sat through The Dark Knight Rises, and afterwards I was so mad because I hated it. I hated that movie. I loved the opening plane scene with Bane. I thought that was such a cool opening to that movie, and I thought as soon as that was happening, I was we're in for a treat with this movie, and then it just went down, man, and became plotty and didn't make sense and nonsensical and boring, and like we didn't even see Batman do Batman shit till like 50 minutes into the movie or something. I'm like, is this a Batman movie? What the hell is going on, man? It's just nonsense, The Dark Knight Rises. So I am excited for this movie, but I want to hear how you think it's going to fare, and as I said, what you think compared to the other two, and how excited you are.
I'm pretty excited, and I reckon it's going to be good. I think they've done really well so far. I think it's been building to this point, and yeah, I think I'm willing to bet we probably will see Garfield as well. I'm pretty excited for seeing all three of them, and I think we've seen a sneaky deception where that's already happening. That scene you saw where they're all swinging in.
Yep.
Sorry, one of the Spider-Man by himself was swinging in.
Yep.
In Brazil, they extended that scene, and you see the lizard kind of react like he's been kicked.
Yep.
So I reckon they've edited 2 people out, and it's like the 3 versus 3. So I reckon it's going to be massive. I reckon we're going to see heaps of things here.
What's your opinion on Tom Holland's performance?
I think he's my favorite. It's very.
I really like him, man.
Yeah, it's usually if I saw something so different, like they've removed the almost completely removed the Uncle Ben kind of aspect.
Sorry, I just want to pause you there because I just had to pause this because I just wanted to talk. Is that a silver suit for the Spider-Man, or is that the other dude that we saw for a second that was like maskless but had a silver suit on at the same time? Like, is that supposed to be another dude, or is that Spider-Man wearing the silver suit there?
I think that's another suit. Yeah, that's another suit for Spider-Man.
Okay, cool. Because for a second there, if we skip through, there's a moment where it thought for a second maybe that it was this guy somewhere. Huh? Oh man, it's killing me. Where is it? Yeah, that maybe was it. Maybe that guy that I saw. I don't know. Hold on, let me have a look. I don't know, man. I saw someone where I was like, oh, it looks like that's the same suit, but he's not wearing the mask, you know? I'm just asking because, as I said, I don't keep up with Marvel movies. And to be honest, I don't think I really enjoyed Far From Home. I don't think I sat through the whole thing.
I think that was the weakest. I think Homecoming was a lot better.
Oh, it was. You know what I love about Homecoming? It feels like a John Hughes movie. So it feels like a Home Alone, but Spider-Man with all of the quick jokes, and the sort of music and the feel and everything that it has, like an Uncle Buck or something. It has that John Hughes feel to it, but is a Spider-Man movie, and I really loved that about that movie. But yeah, I'm excited about this, man. I don't know if I'll go see this at the movies. I didn't see Far From Home from the movies. I didn't see Homecoming at the movies. I think I just waited till they came up for wherever. Don't pirate. It's wrong. But I pirate. Arr, matey. So, all you Buccaneers hop on board. So yeah, when is that releasing? It's Christmas. That's really soon, man.
Yeah, I think it's mid-December, December 12, maybe.
And one more quick thing before we move on. December
17.
17th.
There we go.
One more thing before we move on. What are your thoughts on Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man? Like in those previous movies.
In the previous movies? I think he was reasonable. I think I liked him probably second to Holland. Garfield was good, but he was that kind of hip nerdy, which it worked, but it wasn't what Peter Parker is to me a lot of the time. Like he was a little too cool kind of thing. But yeah, Tobey Maguire, I think looking back on him, I probably don't enjoy it as much, but at the time it was really good. It was perfect.
I'm going to let you in on a little secret.
Yeah.
I really never liked Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man whatsoever. I thought he was boring. I thought he was very static, sort of just played the note the same way the whole time. You know? Whereas I think Andrew Garfield was fine. It wasn't like he blew me away. It wasn't like he was terrible. It wasn't like he was great. He was just whatever. So I'm in agreement with you that Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man there has ever been. I think it was a good idea to go with someone that young and that sort of comedic-driven and sort of that kiddish fun feel that he has. Like, you know, at the start when he's like doing flips in the hotel of the first one and he's making fun of Happy with his phone and stuff like that. So I really like that movie, and I'm really hoping that this movie, I can see it going to, it's kind of like what we talked about with Halloween Kills, where I didn't like the second one, but I'm hoping the third one picks that up. So I liked Halloween Kills, but I know where people are coming from when they say they didn't like it, but I'm hoping that might change, that their opinion might change when the third one is done and dusted. They might go, oh, okay, now the second one doesn't seem as bad, you know? So I'm hoping that's my reaction with this new one. So yeah, I'm excited about that. We'll move on to the next one. And that is another one that I am yet to watch, and that is the Chucky TV series. So give us your thoughts on it, man, because you've been watching it.
It is interesting. I think episode 6 was the last one, last week's episode.
Yep.
It has, at first, I think it was a little bit of a struggle. It kind of, there's a lot of that teen soap opera-ness about it, kind of, and it's hard to care about, but they pace it well. Like, Chucky's still, he's pretty much where it left off before the remake, which, yeah, it wasn't great, but it's also starting to tie in a lot more heavily to the movies.
When was the remake movie? Because I don't even remember that happening.
2019? 2018?
Well, that's it. That goes to show how much of an impact that movie made.
The only good thing about it is Mark Hamill voiced Chucky, but even in that, it was like the Evil Dead remake. If you watch it as a movie that isn't Child's Play, but a movie kind of as a homage to Child's Play, it's all right. But as a Child's Play movie, it's.
Are you a Child's Play fan?
Yes, definitely.
Did you see all the movies, or?
I think they started to kind of lose their quality as they went on, like Cult of Chucky and.
See, the only one I've seen in full is Bride of Chucky.
Nice,
I watched the first one too, the very first Child's Play. I never was a big Chucky fan, which is why I was keen to have you talk about it, man, because I am interested to hear what you think and also what it's kind of how it's going and what it's roughly about. You know,
it's good because they actually have Andy. I think he was in Cult of Chucky, but up to that, you hadn't really seen him since Child's Play 3, I believe. The guy who plays the original kid that Chucky's trying to get in the body of, he's come into it. Jennifer Tilly's come into it. It's it almost starts out as you don't really know what they're aiming for, where it's going to tie in, and suddenly it starts connecting itself back to the movies. Yeah, it's good. It's impressing me so far. It's
I've I've heard very mixed things about it, but I remember seeing it on my torrent browser, and I remember seeing it up saying Chucky TV series episode 1, and I was like, oh, I wouldn't mind checking that out. And I didn't, but then I came across an article on IGN or something where they reviewed it, and I think it got like a 5 or a 4 out of 10 or something like that. And I was like, maybe I'll stay away from it. So you said it had 6 episodes, yeah?
Yeah. It's I wouldn't say it's the best thing ever, but it's definitely worth a watch. I'd say if you're not super into it, I'll probably wait until you kind of just can sit there and watch everything in a row, because it might not be worth the commitment and the weight of, is this worth watching if you're kind of drip feeding it to yourself? But yeah, once it's all out, I'd say give it a shot. And at this point, anyway, it's.
Do you think it'll return?
I don't know. It feels like it might only do 1 season. I don't know if it's going to be lucky enough to get another one.
I'm going to quickly do a quick Google search, because a lot of the times they'll get renewed before the season ends. So, like,
yes,
the production studio will see how it's tracking and make a judgment call, like mid-series or whatever. I just want to make sure we're not reporting something like, I don't know. Maybe it's been announced that there is going to be a season 2, which makes this conversation irrelevant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. As of November 21st, 2021, Chucky has not been cancelled or renewed for a 2nd season. And the headline is Chucky on Sci-Fi cancelled with a question mark. So, I don't know, man. From what I could tell I haven't heard anyone talking about it. You're probably the first person that I've heard say anything about it. I don't know, in Australia anyway, I don't know what the buzz is overseas in America and all that, but I know here it's been very quiet. What channel is it on? The Sci-Fi channel?
Yeah, not sure what it's streaming on here. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Sci-Fi.
We don't even have that, do we?
Actually, no, it's on Channel 9, I think, have it on their
Really?
Yeah, I saw a billboard a few days ago that had a picture of Chucky and saying stream.
Might say
streaming.
here. Well, it just says Sci-Fi. Okay, well, that doesn't help us. But I'll probably give it a shot, man. Maybe when I got nothing else to watch. I'm not jumping out at it like if they announced. See, I'm not a big horror fan, man. It comes across like I am because we've been speaking a lot about like Scream and Halloween and stuff like that. But I don't like horror movies. I like slasher movies. And I like slasher movies because it's not gory. It's more suspenseful. And I also like the silly, weird sort of stories in Halloween and Scream and stuff like that. I don't like gore. Don't like Saw. I don't like Hostel. Those sort of movies, I feel like it's not that I'm scared, it's that I'm uncomfortable.
Yes, yeah.
And I don't know, man, I don't find Halloween and Scream gory, except for a bit of blood and a knife stab or whatever. You know what I mean? Rob Zombie's Halloween is a bit of a different story. It is a bit more gory. And I'd say Halloween Kills was a little bit more gory too, but not to the point that I feel that Saw exploits or Hostel exploits, where it's just shit on top of shit on top of shit for the sake of putting more shit on top of shit. You know what I mean? And it's like, in Saw 2, when she falls into that pit of needles and stuff, like, it's not that I'm scared. It's that that's
really
not cool, So, I don't know. And the other thing I don't like is when they kill animals in horror movies. Do whatever you want to the people. Leave the animals alone.
The kills
dogs. I hate that, man. Come on, man. You're better than that. You're better than that, Myers. But
the kills they're not super gory. They're
fun.
I think they're graphic, but not super gory.
I feel like they're fun, which is what I look for in those sorts of movies, which is a cool style of the way these kills happen, the way they're shot, cool tricks with the camera and stuff that they do, and also just the ideas that they come up with. Like, man, I died of laughter in Halloween Kills when she's running up with the gun and all he does is kick the door open and she shoots herself in the head. Bro, I was like, this guy doesn't even have to try to kill people. All he has to do is knock a door and she's dead, man. So I thought that was so funny. It was like in the 2018 one, man. I was dying in the cinema laughing when his head exploded when he got stomped on. That dude got stomped on and it exploded like a pumpkin. I thought it was hilarious, man. But yeah, so I don't know, like if you had to put a rough score, like 4 out of 5 or whatever, what would you put on Chucky?
I'd probably at this point give it probably a 7.
7.
And mainly based just around.
That gives me
I really like the character of Chucky himself. He's he's Chucky.
Yeah, he's Chucky, but I almost feel like I don't know because I haven't watched the movies, but I have read and heard a few things that they kind of changed Chucky in Cult of Chucky to be more silly and funny and try to crack jokes rather than try to be a ruthless killing doll, you know? I don't know how true that is because when I saw Bride of Chucky, I felt like it was kind of that way already. So for someone to say that it happened in Cult of Chucky and not Bride of Chucky, which I think was right after Bride of Chucky, I feel like he was already kind of there. Just like Freddy Krueger's always kind of been silly.
Yeah, I don't think he's really changed that much. It's the same sort of thing. It's got the kind of the Freddy kind of silliness, as you put it. It's yeah. There's a comical side, but he's very savage at the same time.
Yeah, for sure.
And it goes into you get a lot of backstory as well. Kind of flashbacks to when he was a human and how he started out murdering and where he came from. And
yeah, I'm not too sure about the backstory. It is a possessed doll by a serial killer or a pedophile, isn't it?
Serial killer.
Serial killer?
So you see,
who's the pet? There's one that's based. They don't say straight out. Freddy Krueger.
Freddy.
That's the one I was thinking. Gross, but whatever. Yeah, well, I'm gonna check that out. And if you give it a 7 out of 10, I guess it's kind of there for you to go watch if you really want to as well and see if it deserves that 7 out of 10. And if not, you can come yell at Alan next episode. So let's move on to the next topic, which is kind of a bit off sort of what we usually report on and stuff. But, you know, I kind of lump it into the TV show section, which I don't know if you've noticed, but our formula so far is that we start off with TV, movie sort of stuff and move into the games at last. So this is what I wanted to talk about, which is BuzzFeed Unsolved Supernatural's final episode. And I titled this Farewell to the Ghoul Boys because what else can you say? They call each other the Ghoul Boys. And yeah, it's kind of baffling to me that they're ending it. As far as I know, they are the only thing that BuzzFeed has going for them. I don't know anyone else at BuzzFeed that by name. I don't know anyone else that I would want to tune into as like a personality or a figure that I would enjoy watching. They're just article writers. They report news. Like BuzzFeed Unsolved is kind of born from people, those two dudes who as far as I know, probably started there as editors and people noticed something about them or, you know, writers or whatever, columnists, and people noticed something about them and decided to put them in front of the camera because they've done multiple things. They've got BuzzFeed Unsolved Supernatural, BuzzFeed Unsolved, and then they have done like silly little videos on YouTube for themselves and stuff like that. So I know you're a newcomer to this series, and you checked out the final episode. What did you think, man?
I liked it. It's actually got me going in and backtracking and watching the rest. They've got an amazing dynamic. They've got kind of like you've got the skeptic and the dude who just freaks the fuck out.
And I love it because I feel like I relate to Shane so much because I don't believe in ghosts and he's like me. I believe alien life exists more than I believe in the spooky spirits. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
If you don't mind talking about it, if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. What's your What's your belief on ghosts?
I don't know. Like, I think some weird stuff is out there, but a lot of the time when you look deep enough into that weird stuff, there's a pretty rational explanation. It's there's a few rabbit holes I've kind of seen about it that kind of make me go, maybe. Like, I was probably a few months ago, I was reading this theory that it was a weird one. It was along the lines of like supernatural phenomenon is actually manifested by people, and it's like kind of like a borderline telepathy kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's like this is freaking you out, but it's actually a product of your imagination, and it got weird. But at the same time, it was kind of like, if we're talking about ghosts, and then maybe it's not that weird, but it was still weird. Like, yeah, I'm more on the skeptical side, but yeah, it's
yeah.
Well, I don't think I'm too concreted in one way or the other.
And this show is about entertainment, and I don't want to bring any personal stuff into it too much and all that. But I'm just interested to know: do you think that believing in ghosts kind of goes hand in hand with believing in an afterlife?
Maybe.
Because
it also
me,
could also be other.
Yep.
It could maybe not necessarily an afterlife, but also maybe other realities, other dimensions, and there's a break between it, and that's what we're seeing. It's not actually ghosts, but something not from here. Maybe.
Yeah.
There's another theory that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, for me, man, it's kind of all my life I've been one of those people that's just I look at things very black and white, and it's kind of like, I would say it's kind of a fault of mine, which is, I don't have any problem with religion. I don't have any problem with people that believe in spirits and ghosts and that can, believe in mediums and whatever. If that's what you believe in and that brings you comfort, that's awesome, because personally, I wish I had something like that I believed in to bring me comfort when I need it, but I don't. And, so when I watch this show, like getting back to the show at hand, it's Shane, I just relate to him so much, and I get such a kick out of his silliness. He's straight up like disregard for them. Like he's been told not to go in and speak to demons rudely, and he goes in there and he's like, "Hey, fuck face," and shit like that. He's like, if you're actually here, I want you to tear my body apart right now, and then all this stuff, and it's just like that's how I feel I'd be in that situation, and I really get a big kick out of seeing them do it, man. So to have the final episode come around is really kind of bumming me out, but I also think it's come at the good time, because what you need to do, dude, is, have you got Amazon Prime streaming? Prime?
I do, yes.
Go on there and watch it, because they've got it on there as a series.
Oh.
Supernatural. And you can start it from season 1, episode 1, and watch them in order. So do that, man, because you will see the dynamic between Shane and Ryan has drastically changed now I've noticed it more this season than ever, which is that Ryan has been to so many haunted places now, well, apparently haunted places, that he isn't frightened like he used to be, man. And you can tell he's not in the latest episodes. He plays around, he has a joke around, he laughs, he kind of is an asshole to the spirits and the ghosts that they're talking to and stuff. Whereas in earlier seasons and episodes, he was legit, you could see, like, pale as a ghost, terrified, and Shane was having a ball watching this guy just go to pieces in these places. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's maybe why they're hanging it up, which is that dynamic has shifted, and he's kind of been like, I've been to every place and whatever, He still claims he believes, but I'm starting to even wonder if at this point, if he really believes that, or if it's just what he's saying while the show goes on. Because, as I said, man, if you watch from season 1 onwards, you can see how scared he is and how slowly he just gets more comfortable every place that they kind of go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe this is for the best as well. Maybe they felt that, and maybe they were like, let's just go out while it's still big. Because I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a YouTube show that's like this, that has, except for maybe Angry Video Game Nerd, that made it to Prime and has seasons and has such a big following. Like, I mean, these guys get 16 million views, some videos, 12 million views. Like, that's bigger than TV watching numbers in the days when TV was like the thing that everyone watched. I think their biggest things were like 700,000, a million people at once, or in the States, like to have 12 million people check out an episode of your show is like, that's no small matter. And that's him as Angry Video Game Nerd, man. Like, he has like 16 million views an episode and stuff. And like, that's no small show, man. That's become a proper full-blown show, you know? So,
Yeah.
and I really think it's cool, man, that they used YouTube as a model to make a show that felt like it should be on television. You know?
Yeah.
Not many people do pull that shit off during doing YouTube stuff, you know?
No.
So yeah, I'm glad you've gotten onto it, man. And you'd like the other series as well, Unsolved, which they look into like unsolved cases like the Tupac and the Biggie murder, even though that's kind of been solved now, and they're looking the what's his name? OJ Simpson and stuff like that. So check that out too, but it's kind of a bit more relaxed and chilled because they just sit at a desk and talk. That desk that they sit at, if you've seen them sitting at that desk, they sit at that the whole episode, and they have those you know, animations explaining what they're talking about. They don't actually go to a lot of the places and stuff like that. So it's different, but it's still very funny and very good. So yeah, if you guys haven't checked that out, go check it out. If you have checked it out, leave a comment when you watch, telling us what your favorite moment was, and what what you liked about it, or if you don't like it, sound off as well and tell us why you're not a fan of it. Personally, I have to say my personal favorite moment in the whole show is when they go to this house. I think it's this house because they're returning to this house, and they go there and they put a torch on the thing, and it goes on and off. And that's the first time it's ever happened. And Ryan's screaming in the kitchen while Shane's egging the light to turn on and off. And it's one of my favorite moments, man. There's a couple other moments, like when they go to look for Bigfoot and they go into the forest to look for Bigfoot, and Shane's Bigfoot call is like, it's just like silly shit like that. I love it, man. So it's a great show, man. Anyways, that kind of does it for our like television and movies section, and we're going to move on to the thing that grown children do like us, and that is playing video games. We're going to start off with Guardians of the Galaxy, man. So what are your thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy? Because I have yet to play it yet. I also haven't seen much of it either. I've only seen trailer. I don't think I've even watched a review for it, man.
It is good. I kind of went into it blind. Avoided a lot of reviews or trailers or anything like that. It's good. It's what I think the Avengers game should have been. No focus on the like. Well, actually, there's no multiplayer at all. It's just linear story kind of driven. Kind of
is it
slight
linear,
RPG aspects, but it's
is it linear like linear, or is it like sort of big open spaces but linear?
It's very straight line, but you kind of got like little nooks and crannies you can go off and find a hidden object.
Yeah, well, that's, you know what I'm talking about. You played the Tomb Raider games, yeah, like the remakes. How you've got it is a linear game, and everyone plays the same story, but they've got giant sort of open world-ish sort of areas.
So far, it's been a lot more. It's kind of obviously not first person, but I'll probably liken it in to say how Doom kind of plays. It's like you've got kind of areas, but it's mostly you're going in this direction. It's not much variance on that kind of thing.
So what the video we've got on right now is pretty much the majority of what I've seen of the game. As I said, I'm not the hugest Marvel fan. I don't think I've ever actually sat through one of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, to be honest. I think I started watching the first one. Actually, I did sit through the second one because I just remembered I used to always have to put on Baby Groot for Quinn when he was young. He loved Baby Groot and watching that dance scene at the start of Baby Groot dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, how far are you into it?
Just started the third act. So it's pretty much early days. But yeah, I had a bit of a look forward once I started playing it, and it's still very much it doesn't really go into expand itself that much in an open world, but it's I read a statement about it today, and I kind of agree with it. It's kind of a bit of a testament to you can still have fun without being able to explore heaps. It's which I think I agree with, and that kind of it leans in that direction. Which you don't really get that much anymore, which is refreshing in a way. It's a bit kind of old school. And there's one thing I really like about it, which I think every game should have. When you pause it, it tells you how long since your last save in real time. So 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour. So you always know that, hey, I haven't saved for a long time. Which I think the first time I've ever seen it in something, and that little touch made me very happy.
See, I was a little bit worried about this game because to me, I felt like they didn't show much and didn't give you much time to kind of work out what the game was before its release. And I was very, very concerned that was going to be another Avengers problem with that game being released, as that was the last Marvel game that's been released. I believe that was Miles Morales the last one.
I think they came out around the same time.
Well, either way, I mean, the Spider-Man games are great on PlayStation 4. They're also and PS5, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I haven't played Avengers. I haven't seen much of it, but I watch a lot of gaming podcasts and stuff, and I've heard non-stop about this game, about how it wasn't ready. They've been late with all their DLC. Everything's been pushed back. They just haven't got their shit together with this free-to-play, not free-to-play, but, microtransactions or whatever they're doing in it. And so have you played Avengers, and what was your thoughts on that compared to this game?
Yeah, I played it for the main story. And I still pick it up from time to time just because I dig, there's not really another Avengers game to play. But it's definitely what they say.
Can you explain to me what sort of game it would be most similar to? Because that's what I'm not sure about. What is the Avengers similar to?
It's... I don't know if there's anything... I guess kind of, to a degree, Anthem, but no open world aspect. Instead, you kind of pick your mission and that's where you go off to.
Yep.
So
how heavy story cutscene is it? Does it feel like from start to finish you get a good single player campaign out of it, or does it feel like it falls short of that and you're getting what I expect it to be, which is not like that?
There's a decent story, but it also could have been a lot better. They focused way too heavily on the multiplayer aspect.
So you'd say that the story took a backseat, which is how I feel hearing about it.
Definitely. And it's also the way it presents itself is weird. I find myself kind of going through the map sometimes going, all right, where's the story mission that I need to pick? Is this a story mission or a random whatever
So it's
mission?
an open world, is it?
It's open levels, you get a big map. But
even you explaining this, man, I'm still sitting here going, So it's not open world, but it's open levels. Like, I don't know, man.
Open world-ish. Like you pick where you're going, and then you get a big map to run around in. So it's not true open world.
So
But you've got a lot of area to explore.
I know this is a silly comparison. I'm guessing it's kind of like Lego Batman 3, if you ever played that, where you go to the hub planet thing and you turn the planet and pick the level, and it's got an open area.
Yeah, exactly like that.
So it's like that, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, and are the missions like varied enough, or do they repeat?
Repetitive, very repetitive. And they're your cliche kind of missions as well, like kind of the take and hold, the beat all these guys up. There's not much kind of variance in the missions. It's just another level painted a different color kind of thing.
So, like, compare it to Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy does a better job story-wise, I'm guessing.
Definitely.
I've also heard that it ends crazily, which I don't know. I haven't heard how it ends. I just heard that there's a really compelling ending. And I've also heard that, people are very surprised about how actually good this game was, because from its showing at E3, I believe it might have been the first time it was shown. I remember people walking away going, I don't know, like I wasn't sure. People weren't sure about it, and it kind of makes me wonder what the Wolverine game is going to be like when that comes out.
I think that should be all right. Because I think it's Wolverine's being done by the same people who do Spider-Man.
Yeah,
they should be fairly on point with it. Yeah,
and they just did Ratchet and Clank as well. Ripped.
Yeah.
So I mean, would you recommend this for people to go out and check out first? And would you recommend someone like me, who's not the biggest Guardians of the Galaxy fan or Marvel fan, to check it out still? Because do you think I would still like it with its gameplay elements and what it does well?
I think yeah. I think it's worth it. Maybe not at debut price. Like, I don't know. I paid I think $100 for it. If you're unsure, I don't think it's worth that. But if you see it on sale for say $60, I think definitely pick it up.
That's surprising to me that it's not on Game Pass. To me, that feels like a very Game Pass game.
Yeah, I know, right?
Not saying that in a bad
I think
way.
it will be.
I'm just saying it's like, it's not a property that's like it is a big property, but it's like, it's not a first party property. That could be why, because like Forza's going to it and stuff, that's Xbox's choice. I guess, developers can choose that or not if they want to go. And I guess the developers of Guardians, who developed Guardians of the Galaxy?
Square Enix, I believe. Same people as Avengers.
Really? But is it they've got two sort of wings of that though, yeah? Like where they're like isn't it like Chris what are they called again? You just said their name. Santa Monica.
Square Enix.
Square Enix. Isn't there like Square Enix like China, Square Enix like America and Square Enix somewhere else or something like that? So two teams, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it's Crystal Dynamics Square Enix that make, because it's Crystal Dynamics is Square Enix as well, yeah. Crystal Dynamics the ones who made Avengers. They also made Tomb Raider, the 3 remakes.
Yeah.
Or the 2 remakes, and then the third one was made by someone else, whatever. But when I heard that they were taking on Avengers from Tomb Raider, and I thought the Tomb Raider games were fantastic, I was really puzzled by that choice, especially when they decided we're going to make it some weird, microtransaction weird thing. I was like, what are you doing with this thing? You have a killer property and you're not making the right choices with this game, I don't think, Whereas I feel like they did do that with Guardians.
Yeah, I think there's a lesson was learned there with Avengers. But yeah, I think, miles and miles better than Avengers as Guardians is. It's the game I would have wanted out of Avengers but didn't get. Awesome.
Yeah, the reason I wanted to compare it a little bit to Avengers in that conversation rather than talk about too much of the game is because it's very fresh still. We know what Guardians of the Galaxy is. And to dig into the more deeper would probably be just giving away the game to everybody, especially when it's so early on. So, I mean, maybe in a couple of weeks or maybe a bit longer than that, let some more people play it. Maybe I'll jump into it when I get a chance, and maybe me and you could do like a spoiler discussion on it or something. I want to start doing a couple of those, maybe once a month, maybe once every 2 months. We'll do an extra episode a month and have it as like a bonus episode, but it won't be where we talk this many things. It'll be like a special episode dedicated. So it could be a spoiler cast for a movie. It could be a spoiler cast for a game. It could be whatever you want it to do. So I'm thinking we should do some of those. And maybe this could be one of the first things we do is do a Guardians of the Galaxy sort of spoiler review. But yeah, we'll move on to, we've got second last story for the show. And that is something that I've been playing that you haven't played, which is Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, which is obviously not one game. It's 2 games, Brilliant Diamond or Shining Pearl. And it is set in the Sinnoh region. I'm not sure if that matters to anyone, but you start off with Turtwig, Chimchar, and Piplup. And I chose Chimchar, which is fire type, obviously. Do you have much experience with the Pokemon games in the past, man?
I've more seen people playing them than actually playing them myself. I didn't really have a Nintendo. I've got a Switch now, but I didn't really have one since the last Nintendo I had was a 64.
Yep.
So there wasn't really that much of a presence there with the Pokemon, I don't think. That I got into anyway. Yeah.
Were you into the cards ever, or the show, or anything like that?
I was kind of that very border where it was like you either watched it or you didn't. When I was a kid and it first came out on I think Cheese TV.
Yep.
It was the cartoon that replaced X-Men, so it was kind of like a snotty little kid and went, "Oh, I don't want to watch this," so I kind of missed the boat a little bit.
I mean, look, I have a weird, shaky relationship with Pokemon, which is I fell in love with it when I was in grade 5. I made my dad go buy me a base set fire theme deck, which you got Ninetales in as your holographic card. I loved playing Pokemon Red on Game Boy, but I was too young. I was a dumb little kid, so I never got anywhere in those games. I got to the second area, the second gym, and couldn't beat because I just couldn't work out. Oh, I shouldn't use that type of Pokemon against that sort of Pokemon and stuff. It's that sort of right. Take your turn, pick your move, and you kind of got to play it like a game of chess, I'd say, which is you kind of got to work out what your moves are going to be a couple of moves ahead and things like that when it gets later on into the game, and get kind of prepared with revives and antidotes and stuff. But I mean, I never played them heavily. So I fell out of Pokemon. I got into Pokemon and I fell out of it as quick as I got into it. So I was probably one of the first kids at my primary school to go, fuck Pokemon. I'm sick of it, And it was because I felt like once it went from 150, 151 Pokemon higher, that's when I was like, nah, I'm done. 151 was enough for me. But now, later in life, as I've gotten older, I started playing Let's Go Pikachu on the Switch, and I fell in love with that game, and I finished it. I think I put 75 hours into that game.
Jesus,
and then I got Sword and Shield because it came around there. I got Sword and Shield I got Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, sorry, at the same time, basically the same month that Sword and Shield got released. So I got the first game I basically played all the way properly till the end was Let's Go Eevee, which is just a remake of Pokemon Yellow. And then it was Sword and Shield, which I played Shield, and I wasn't a big fan of. It was okay. I finished it, probably put 60 hours into it. But again, I just thought it was, once I was done with the story, I was not tempted to go catch more Pokemon, go back to the game. I was done with it, And my son loves Pokemon. He loves it. And he loves the games. And he just can sit on his Switch all day and just do link trades with people and try to see what Pokemon he can get trading people on the online, and he was like, Dad, come control this for me and do it. And I'm like, I don't want to see another second of that game, man, just because it's done for me. You know what I mean? So I'm like, you keep playing it if you want. So I said, look, I'm not going to play another Pokemon. I'm not going to play any more Pokemon till Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl come out. And I bought Brilliant Diamond the other day, and I haven't gotten very far in it. But what I will say to everyone is that if you liked Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, then you're just going to love this as well. If you're a big Pokemon fan, there's no surprise behind Diamond and Pearl, considering these are games that have been released before, and these are just new versions of those games. Obviously new graphics, new art design, a few little additions here and there, but they are the classic Diamond and Pearl games. As I said, I'd fallen out before this gen of Pokemon. So this is the first time I'm experiencing it. But I feel like it's very much like Let's Go Eevee, even though it doesn't have the same art style and it's more of a top-down than behind sort of thing. But I just feel like this is the classic formula that everyone wants from a Pokemon game. And it feels really good to be playing something like that again. And I'm glad that I call my Nintendo Switch the Pokemon machine because that's all I play on it. So I'm glad to be using the Switch again for a little bit before I finish this off and then never want to see this game again ever. So, do you ever plan on getting yourself a Switch?
I've gone on the moment. I actually got it 2 years ago.
Yep.
Solely to play Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Then I rediscovered the old Mario games, and I'm kind of like you. I don't touch it very much, but yeah, it's in there collecting dust.
Yeah, well, I realized I had to come to terms with it, man, that I was, I think, pretending to be a bigger Nintendo fan through my life than I've always been, because I've never really finished a Mario game. I finished Ocarina. I don't think I finished Ocarina of Time, actually. So, like, I don't know, I was always like, oh, I'm going to get the new Mario game. It looks sick. And I'd play 3 hours of it and never return to it again. So I had to finally come to terms that Nintendo just isn't for me anymore, man. Pokemon is the outlier, and I'm very much looking forward to what that next Pokemon game in February is coming out, called Pokemon Legends Arceus, as it looks like. Arceus, I don't know, man. These Pokemon have the wackest names, bro, and I'm so sick of it. Like, every time I see a Pokemon I don't know and I try to pronounce it, I have my son correcting me like I'm stupid, you know what I mean? But yeah, dude, there's one that's called Kling Clang or some shit, and it's just it looks like a keys on a lanyard. Then there's one called something else, and it looks like two gear cogs. There's another one called Trubbish, and it's rubbish, bro. That's how inventive these Pokemon dudes are. They're like, what haven't we done? What's a Pokemon that we haven't done? Do you reckon we could do one that looks like a banana, bro? Like, that's what it's like, man, now. And I don't know, I just feel like the classic Pokemon designs are where it's at. 1 second, yeah. I'll show you what I mean by classic. Everyone in the world knows those banger cards right there.
Yes.
And that's what I mean. Look, Charizard, and then they make one that's called Kling Clang or whatever, and it's keys. Or there's one called Chandelure, and it's a chandelier. I don't know, man.
No.
Maybe I'm just picky about my Pokemon. I don't know, bro. But I've never once heard someone say, you know who my favorite Pokemon is? The keys, man.
No, yeah, it's not great.
No, but I suggest, man, if you ever feel like a turn-based RPG game where you're like, it is pretty cool. You get like, you unlock the skill to like ride on a bike. You get to the bike shop, suddenly you're like, oh, I'm at the bike shop now. I can use my bike and stuff like that. So I don't know. I always get excited about what the next thing is. So I don't know. As I said, I wasn't the biggest Pokemon fan. Then I picked it up and sort of got back into it. So I like it, and I suggest that, as I said, if anyone's looking for something similar to Let's Go Pikachu or the older style Pokemon games, pick it up. If you're sick of that, which I wouldn't be surprised about a lot of people being sick of it, because it is a sort of rinse and repeat game, just like Call of Duty is, just like any annualized or sort of sport games and stuff like that. It's all the same thing at the end of the day. So it's more Pokemon, and if that's what you want, I suggest you go grab it. And we're going to talk about one last story, which is Call of Duty Vanguard versus PlayStation. It's war. So in light of the current lawsuit going on against Activision, Blizzard, PlayStation decided to remove Call of Duty from the feature spot on the store. So the other day when I found out that it had been removed from the store featuring, first I got told by a mate that it had been removed, flat out removed from the PlayStation store. And I was going to buy it this week to play with my mates online. And I was like, what? I can't buy the disc version because I have a digital console. So if they pulled it, how much? So I don't get to play it now. That's some bullshit. So I was really mad about it. And then I went onto this PlayStation store, and sure enough, it's not in the latest releases. It's not on the homepage. Like the latest Call of Duty, the first one that comes up when you look at the store is Cold War. So I was like, well, where is it? This is bullshit, man. And then I typed Call of Duty in and scrolled all the options and found it in there, and it was still there. And I'm like, so it's still there. They've just been removed from the feature spot and kind of shunned into the background. And I wanted to get what your thoughts are on this sort of happening to Activision and Blizzard, and how you feel about the game being removed and sort of shunned like that, because I have sort of mixed feelings on it. So I'd like to hear what your take is on it.
I think if they want to make a point, then it's undoubtedly this is going to affect sales, because as you said, like yourself in your position, you've got the digital only console. There's a lot of people that will only have that. I think if they want to make a statement to the higher ups at Activision Blizzard, then this will make them take notice and maybe take some action against these harassing situations. So it's like, in that way, it's good, but it kind of shafts over the player as well, which
that's why I have conflicting.
I don't know if they should get involved in that way.
That's what I have conflicting thoughts. Why should people like me, who thought for a second that it had actually been removed, if that actually had happened, why should even what has happened to it? Why should someone like me, the consumer, who had nothing to do with these allegations, that likes Call of Duty and doesn't even care about what's going on behind the scenes because of whatever, why should they be punished? Like, not saying you should not care and you should just play the games and do, like, support these people for horrible things that they're doing, but you know what I'm getting at, which is, why should the player pay for someone else's mistake when it's literally hundreds, maybe thousands of people working on this game, and 2-3 people's shit is gonna affect all their work and the fans as well? And that's kind of where I step in and go, I don't know if I support PlayStation doing this. I don't know if it was their fight. I feel like Activision's already in court getting sued by the California government. That's pretty big, and the news stories that have been written and everything that's going on there, I almost feel like they're in the middle of battle, and PlayStation were like, well, we're going to enter now. We're in this war now, and we want to fight you. And it's like, whoa. Like, this isn't your fight. Back off, man. Like, we got this. Like, so I don't know. How do you feel about it, like, in regards to that?
I feel that it's very similar. I was also hearing that Xbox might be following suit as well. And
I actually did
doing
hear that too. When I wrote the captions and titles and stuff and worked out what we were going to talk about, and it had only been officially announced that that's what happened on PlayStation. I was going to mention that I think other companies have followed suit. But I almost feel like they're just like, oh, yeah, we're here too. Like, yeah. And if Sony hadn't done it at first, have they done it at all? Probably
I don't
not.
think so. I think it's yeah. I don't think they would. I think they kind of, as you said, kind of just going, oh, us too. Let us join in the righteousness of screwing over the player. Like,
yeah, exactly. And again, if people aren't aware of the situation going on, I'm not going to go too deep into that, but there has been sexual allegations, sexual misconduct allegations made against Activision and members of Activision and Blizzard who are the game programmers or coders and whatever, the studio executives, the writers of the whatever. And as I said, I'm not going to bring it up on here because that's not what our show is about. We're not trying to report news on serious topics like this. This show's a bit of fun. We're trying to have a bit of fun. So all I'm saying is that it's horrible stuff. It's treating women and things the way that you shouldn't treat women ever. You should be a good person and treat everyone equally, no matter their gender, their race, their sexual orientation, their choices. As long as they're a good person, that's all that matters. So I'm not condoning it, but I do think that this wasn't PlayStation's fault, and PlayStation should have just been like, you guys are taking care of it kind of thing, you know? I think it's horrible what's happened there, and I think that definitely should suffer and pay, but I don't think that this is the way to get through to them.
No. I agree. And it's, there's a nobility there, but it's not the best way to do it.
Yeah, and I also think that, like, I think that we need to come to the realization as well soon that Call of Duty can't keep going on every year the way they're going. I feel like we need to get to a point where Call of Duty does go away for a couple of years and comes back with something game-changing again. Because that's what Call of Duty began as, was a game-changing, multi-layered shooter. Before Call of Duty, there was Medal of Honor, there was other similar style shooters, but no one that did it as smoothly, as great, and as fun, and as varied as Infinity Ward did with Modern Warfare, or the earlier Call of Duty. I'd say Modern Warfare was when it became the revolutionary shooter. Like, there was Call of Duties before that, but Call of Duty's legacy, I believe, starts with Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, and goes on from there. And it's just kind of become this monster. And I think that the only reason people keep buying it is because it's become second nature. Like, oh, COD's coming out again. It's that time of year again. I'm going to go buy COD. You know what I mean? It's like, it's kind of like an assuring thing that everyone can look forward to every year if that's what you're into. You know what I mean? Like shooters and playing COD. But I do feel like, well, I've heard that the sales for Vanguard, first of all, have been the worst since Ghosts.
Oh, wow.
And that's saying something, man, because this is Infinity Ward as well.
Yeah.
This is the main OG people of Call of Duty, and they look like they've failed this. Is it still going to be a successful selling game? Yes. Is it still going to be the #1 selling game in America for the year? Probably. Yes. Oh, well, within a year's time, if you look at 12-month figures, it'll probably be the highest selling game of that 12 months. Yes, it will be. But it not being as big as past entries with the audience will go noticed. They're not going to pretend like they don't notice that stuff. And I think that they've already committed to the next Call of Duty next year. We know that's coming, but I almost feel like this is where the Activision heads should kind of step in and go, after next year, we're going to take a couple of years break and we're going to fine tune things and we're going to try to change it up a little bit, because I get that Warzone has changed up the online multiplayer aspect of it, and it's not things like just team deathmatch, capture the flag, and your 6v6 or whatever, free for all, which is personally what I play when I play Call of Duty. I play team deathmatch and things like that. I will not step foot into Warzone because I just feel like it's the bastard child of Call of Duty. I'm not interested in Fortnite. Sort of, you know, what are they called? I can't remember what they're called. They've got some name where it's, you know.
Oh, Battle Royale.
Exactly. That's what I was looking for. I do not want to play a game and then die and just sit there and wait for the match to end and have to wait till next match. I want to die and spawn and go kill and get some good kills and spawn and spawn and spawn and respawn. I don't want this Warzone crap. I'm not interested in driving vehicles. I'm not interested in building shit. Just give me running and gunning, and that's it. Like maybe tanks again from World at War. But yeah, I do think something needs to happen to Activision, and I just think that this was the wrong way to go about it from PlayStation, and now it seems to be Xbox's thing. And I just think that they should reverse course and just let. I mean, the court's doing what they're going to do about it, and if the court can't fix that situation, getting sued by California cannot fix the situation. You getting your feature spot from the PlayStation Store isn't going to fix it either. You know.
Yeah. I agree.
Well, it's been good, man. It's been a really good episode. It's been a chunky, meaty episode. It's been nearly almost 2 hours long, which is crazy. I mean, there was some probably 10, 15 minutes in there where, you know, that was recording and we weren't actually recording because issues and waiting for you to reset and stuff. But it was. I thought we had good discussion. I thought it was cool bringing up the videos for people to check out, because when I was watching it the other day and we were talking about GTA and things like that, I just felt like it was missing something for people to kind of like see to put the conversation towards. You know what I mean? Like it's easier when we're talking about, say, how Ghostface Masks isn't the same in the TV series as the movie, and then we start wanting to show each other, and we show each other, and you're not watching it. You're not going to really understand what the difference is, you know? And what I don't understand, man, is that it's really not hard, to find a fucking ghost face mask, bro. It's really not hard to find a ghost face mask. I fucking got one. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this up. My name is Tomye West. I've been your host. That's Alan. Everyone, be kind to him. Welcome him. Send him messages. And I want a lot of cock shots sent to him. I want hundreds of penis shots. And if that doesn't happen, guess what? We're not doing another episode.
Yeah.
No, we're joking. So thank you for watching. I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. And we will see you next week for episode 3. And next week we don't really have any plans yet, but I'm sure it'll be another stacked episode. So again, thank you everyone for tuning in. If you could also, please, there's a link. I'll put it in the description as well. Go to that Facebook page, like it, please. This is going to be our main page where you can get Loud and Alternative Music podcast, as well as Loud, a pop culture podcast. And we might have some other shows in the works too, which I personally won't be a part of. But we will go into that more in the future if, you know, it's getting discussed at the moment, but I won't be a part of it, but it'll be under the Loud banner. So yeah, keep an eye on things. We'll see you next time. Also go check out my YouTube. It would really help me out. I got a video up there for Soul Tone Symbols. So yeah, again, thanks everyone, and see you next week.